Greetings all. Welcome to this week's episode of Journeying Within. I am so glad you have joined me today as we dive deep into a subject that invites us to look within. Perception and projection. Seeing the mirror of ourselves. We all see the world through the lens of our own experiences, beliefs, and emotions. When we realize that these perceptions are not just the truth, but reflections of ourselves, it shifts everything. However, when what we perceive is tainted by our beliefs, emotions, and biases, can we still be assured that what we are seeing is the truth? Or are we merely seeing a version of reality shaped by these filters? Let us start by reflecting on how perception and projection work together. Often, we think we see the whole world as it is. But what if what we are truly seeing is not just the world, but a mirror of ourselves, a reflection of our beliefs, our emotions, our biases? We all experience the world through filters. What we believe, what we feel, and even what we expect. If the reflections through which we see could be depended on as gospel, it might give us a false reading. And while that could be excusable, it still distorts what is seen. However, when we place filters that have nothing to do with reality, we can cause serious damage. What if we could set aside these filters, even for a moment, and simply see things as they are, without the layers of our past, our conditioning, or our assumptions? Before we dive deeper, let us first understand that we are all products of our environment. Just like a tree grows and blooms differently depending on where it is planted, be it in rich soil or harsh conditions, so too do we, shaped by people, places, and experiences around us. We display a lack of understanding when we expect everyone to be the same. We are all influenced by our upbringing, culture, and circumstances. Imagine you are looking at a fruit tree. You wouldn't expect a lime tree to bear mangoes, would you? Similarly, when we expect others to behave or think the same as us, we fail to recognize that just as every tree is unique, every person's experiences and perspectives are different. But just as trees can be grafted with other trees, we too are shaped by what we are exposed to, be it through media, relationships, or experiences. These influences become part of us, subtly guiding our thoughts, choices, and actions. Moreover, just as trees may be affected by leeches, parasites, or the conditions of their environment, we too are impacted by the toxic beliefs, past wounds, or limiting experiences that cling to us. These layers, both external and internal, shape who we are, but they do not define us. As we accumulate emotions, biases, traditional beliefs, and values, They build upon one another, layer by layer. But when these layers reflect back at us, do we still recognize ourselves? Are the reflections we see truly our own, or are they the product of all the influences and add-ons we have gathered along the way? When we become rigid or judgmental about the way others live, it can make it even harder for us to release the add-ons we have accumulated. Sadly, we are not only rigid or judgmental toward others, but often towards ourselves as well. We tend to harshly critique our own actions, thoughts, and emotions, amplifying the dangers of erroneous beliefs and judgments. This inner conflict can trap us in a cycle of negativity and self-doubt, preventing growth and clarity. We become ensnared in a cycle where our past posturing, influenced by societal expectations and norms of shaming, blaming, and finger-pointing, may make us feel that shedding these layers would compromise our authenticity. In societies like ours, where these behaviors are sometimes worn as badges of honor, the act of letting go can feel like a betrayal of what we have always known. But what if, by releasing these rigid beliefs, we could return to a more genuine version of ourselves? As we explore the impact of perception and projection, take a moment to reflect on these questions. Do you ever find that your perception of others is more about your own beliefs and emotions than about the other person's reality? Can you think of a time when you projected your own fears, hopes, or judgments onto someone else? How did that change your view of them and yourself? What would happen if you were to step outside of your conditioned lenses for a moment and simply see without judgment, without expectation? As we explore this topic, we come to realize that many of our reactions, judgments, and perceptions are rooted in our own inner world. The world we see is often a reflection of what we hold inside ourselves. Our beliefs and emotions influence how we interpret everything around us. Whether it's a conversation with a friend, the way we react to a situation, or even how we view ourselves. This can be both empowering and challenging. It is empowering because it reminds us that we have the ability to shape our perceptions. If we become aware of our biases, we can begin to change them, allowing us to see the world in a more open, clear way. But it is also challenging because it asks us to take responsibility for the lens we are using. It requires us to take a hard look at our beliefs and ask, are these beliefs serving me or limiting me? Before we conclude today's episode, let us take a moment of reflection. I invite you to ask yourself, What lens are you seeing through today? What might it look like if you tried looking beyond it? Just for today, take a deep breath and reflect. Let us create space for a new perspective to emerge. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey today. I hope that it has given you something to ponder as you continue your walk through life. Remember, when we become aware of our own projection and perceptions, we begin to see with clearer eyes. And in doing so, we can unlock a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us. As always, if you have enjoyed this episode, share it with someone you think might benefit from it. Let us continue exploring together. And as we move forward, let us do so with love, integrity, and awareness. But is there more to sight than we have uncovered today? Have we truly seen all there is to see? Perhaps it is time to journey even deeper. Stay tuned for more as we continue to unravel the many dimensions of sight. Be well, and may you continue to walk this path of self-discovery with courage and clarity.